What is up, Catboy? How are you doing? Let's see. Good at rain today, so work was super busy. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I mean, I guess that makes sense. An angry meatball says to sit back in your chair for a second. How is this? A little out of focus when you lean forward. Fair enough. I should be sitting back anyways. Shouldn't be leaning forward all that much. But good to know that that's something to keep in mind. Thanks for calling that out. How are you doing tonight, Angry Meatball? I am not sure, to be honest. That is a great question. We recorded an episode of the podcast yesterday, and I am getting the new table that I've been talking about on Sunday. So I figured that I would try streaming from this angle today, but um, one of the one of the people, rather our production manager for the podcast, was messing around with the camera and setting it up for me like this. So I'm not sure what she set it to. Either way, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good as long as I'm not leaning forward, which is fine. Um, says I'm good sitting back with a beer. Nice. Sounds relaxing. Any fun plans for the weekend, guys? Anything interesting coming up? Besides the besides the Saturday stream, of course. No plans yet. Fair enough. Same, actually. I don't really have anything besides work. Well, I guess I'll get the table on Sunday. That's less of a plan, though. The lads have been quiet this week. Fair enough. The stream and gaming. How many hours have you put into FF14, Cowboy? Not to call you out, I'm just curious, because obviously it's a game that you can sink like a ton of hours into. Also, thank you for anyone here. Good to be back as always. Another Wednesday stream. We will be live until 11 o'clock today, primarily working on magic items that we can take from some type of monster or creature or body part or anything kind of in that vein. And then on Saturday's stream, we will be, of course, doing our deep dive where we'll kind of focus in on the stuff we put together on Monday and tonight in order to make some usable items for everyone out there. So, Catboy says a lot. Like a lot, or like you think you're over a good 100 hours in? Once again, no judgment. I put way too many hours in certain games. I'm level 45 in my main class. Why is your head floating around the screen? It's a great question. I'm glad you noticed. I got the Streamlabs Prime thing, and I downloaded a couple of the apps to see what exactly they did and start getting familiar with some of this stuff. And so right before I went live, I was playing with the little. There's an app you can download called, I think it's literally called Bouncing Ball. Um, Bouncing box is what it's called. So it lets me take an image and put it on there and let it bounce around. So I figure why not throw it up there for a minute and see how long it takes someone to say something about it. It's supposed to be like the default is the old DVD. Yeah, yep, exactly. We're in a DVD menu. That's literally what it's inspired from. Like the default icon is literally that DVD icon. It's actually an Ioun stone. Yeah, it's all of the Ioun stones. It's one of the greater ones. Um, so what does level 45 equate to though? You know, because like I'm way higher than level 45 in Elden Ring, but they're like pretty easy ways to level up. So, you know, like every game is different. So I assume that 45 is probably pretty high. Like what's the level cap, I guess is what I'm trying to ask. A very roundabout way of asking the correct question. Max level is 90. So you're about halfway there. I imagine, like most games, it only gets harder to level up the higher you go. Interesting. Well, that's cool. So, guys, um, like we talked about earlier, continuing on magic items for monsters. So, if you guys have anything that you'd like to throw out into the chat, feel free to let me know. Hold that thought. Okay. I'm in the free trial, so I can only go up to level 60 without paying. The free trial lets you get 2/3 of the level cap before making you pay for it. That's a long ass trial. Like at that point, the game is free to play, and level 61 through 90 is just DLC. That's pretty fucking wild. I mean, that's literally what it is. You're playing like, you know, like unless those last 30 levels are, you know, I mean, yeah, I don't even know. That's a lot. That's a lot of free content to even call it a charge for a game. How much does it cost to get to get access to those last 30 levels? Like, what does the game run for? Hmm. I'll throw some subtopics on here. No rush to throw out ideas, but uh, since last stream, I've become fascinated with the idea of angel feathers hardening into useful weapons post mortem. Okay. I gotcha. I see what you're saying. So it basically turns into not necessarily the weapon on its own, but the deadly portion of a weapon that can then be used. Oh, it'd be nice if spelled angel correctly. I like that idea. So would you say that it's only possible when the angel's dead, or like if like a sneaky thief was able to pluck the feather of a angel, would they still be able to take it and then like craft it into a weapon, basically? With all expansions, $60. I mean, that game's been out for a while, so I'm sure they have released quite a bit of DLC for that game. So $60 is probably pretty justifiable, especially if you do play to level 60. Like, I don't know how, like it's like you said, that's a lot of hours of content. I would say that's probably a justifiable purchase when that time comes. Where did I put my monster manual? Ah, right there. The fucking floating head. Catboy says, so I found a funny homebrew. Let's look it up. There it goes. Title's already funny. Okay. What the fuck? Uh, that is pretty cheesy. I like it though. It's got a. It's got one of two typos because it says it's a third level spell, but then it says when you upcast it at second level or higher, you can summon extra. You're able to summon an extra for every level of second or higher. So it's, I would imagine, with it being as cheesy as it is, it would make more sense as a first level conjuration spell, like for a funny homebrew thing. Third level just makes it like so bad that it shouldn't even be usable. Okay. Alright. Angry Meatball says, in my head, angels are in a group of creatures for whom form and magical essence are the same thing. Any piece of them is always governed by their magic, whether separated from their body or not. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I could get behind that logic. So even if you were able to steal the wing, like unless the angel just was willing to let you use it, then it would not really make a difference. I could see that. If willingly given, I could see the feathers being useful, but if taken by force, I don't imagine so. The magic, the angel is still in the feather until all the magic is gone. Creature is dead or is severed intentionally. Yeah, I agree with that. And then still offers the same opportunity in the sense that you don't necessarily have to find a dead angel or kill it for its wings to be valuable. You could, have positive reasons, both positive and negative opportunities for getting said item. I dig that. Conjure Commoner. I feel like that spell would be even better. I know it's like says it's random, but like if after the first casting, you always you always conjure the same commoner, like in order. So if there's this, unfortunate soul named Franklin who gets summoned the first time, every first level casting of the spell is going to summon Franklin, and then if you upcast it, you also summon Susie. Oh no. I run most of my angels as lawful stupid, so there are plenty of valid reasons for a party to clash with one. Like lawful stupid in terms of they're lawful and arrogant, or like they are actually just dumb. Poor Franklin. Poor Franklin indeed. Franklin never saw it coming. Ooh, like just imagine though, like every time he dies, until eventually like Franklin actually gets himself killed because he thinks that like he can't die eventually. If you keep getting summoned places and these evil monsters destroy you and you just go back to living normal life in between fighting evil monsters, eventually Franklin's gonna think that he's like immortal. Eventually he would have to lose his fear of death, unless he just doesn't remember each time. He just gets tired of being summoned all the time and kills himself. Ooh. I feel like if he died that many times, though, right? Like after being summoned, I feel like the average commoner wouldn't realize that it's not going to work the same way when they're not being summoned. Lawful stupid in the way that many of the worst paladins try to run the lawful good alignment, trying to interpret lawful good in the most extreme ways. The words law and good lose most of their meaning. Fair enough. So good that they end up being basically bad. Being so strict with the law that chaos is inevitable. Were created. Damn. The description for chimeras is kind of badass in the monster manual. So for the list, will-o-wisps. What would you do with the will-o-wisp, cowboy? And then Angry Meatball says, I think I'm going to go through the monster manual, try to find things you could use to make armor for a druid. Fair enough. Go for it. I'm going through right now. I'm just generally trying to get some inspiration. There are a lot of these monsters that I've never like slowed down and read all the way through. Chill. Oh. That was an ugly monster. You guys ever use a cockatrice in combat? That's an ugly motherfucker right there. That's an ugly guy. He's not winning points for beauty. But he's kind of cute, you know? Even in the description they call it hideous. That's fucked up. I'm picturing an evil necromancer being able to use them to enhance their magic. Uh, okay. Just gonna put magic enhancements. We can always flush it out on Saturday, but what are you, what do you think the mechanic behind that would be? Or how would that work? 24. Will-O-Wisp feed on life force. Oh, so you're saying like that the mage in theory could draw life force from it? I mean, that's interesting. Basically. I mean, you could use that in a couple of different ways. Yeah, actually, you could use that in quite a few different ways, but you could use it as like a pseudo healing potion for maybe those who are not as magically gifted or inclined, and then you could have more advanced magic users maybe also be able to do things like up a spell slot, or I don't know. I mean, it's like I said, there's a lot of directions you could go. Also, you'd have to have a way to trap it, which is difficult considering it's incorporeal. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Is like how, like when I think of a will-o-wisp, the idea of like taking it and then draining the essence from it would not be an easy process. But to be fair, if it offers good benefits and it's hard to do, it'll fetch a good price. It'd be an expensive item or a difficult hobby for an adventurer. Damn. Ooh. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Basically, if y'all know what a Codal is, Kotal, or Coatl? Either way, this big snake looking thing with angel wings apparently cannot lie. So it'd be interesting if you consumed its wing, or maybe its wings have some kind of magical property that you could use to stop someone else from lying. Codal. Central South American flying serpent. Oh, okay, good to know. Interesting. Let's see. Hold on. I'll grab my Dungeon Master's Guide. Oof. So most fiends don't bother me, but I just took a look at the Devourer. Let me pull it up. Hell yeah. What the fuck? That's a beauty right there. That is a true beauty. Fuck. I mean, like, when you're looking at the smaller icon, this looks like a little demon baby, and then you open it up and you see that this thing is big enough that it's literally eating a whole ass man. Well, it was a whole ass man. Personally, I've been trying to find a spot for the Astral Dreadnought based on visuals alone since that book came out. Any idea where you're going to put it? Because that thing is a beast. Thematically, it doesn't really fit anywhere in the games I'm running right now. It's fair. That's it's a good DM move, you know, not forcing it in there even though you'd like to have it, making sure it's actually appropriate for the game. There are a lot of people who would not do that. Oh, I don't have a miniature for it. That sucks. Limitations breed unique solutions. I like that. That's a quote right there. I almost feel like that is a quote that I just don't already know. That's how good that was. I believe it is. Let me see. Orson Welles said the enemy of art is the absence of limitations. That's pretty close. Before D&D joins the chat in typical 7-year-old fashion, I guess I shouldn't be leaning forward. It says, "These nuts, an aphrodisiac." Welcome to the chat before D&D. As always, you have a way with words unlike any other. How are you doing before D&D? What'd you do today? Play Elden Ring all day? Nah, but I'm playing right now. Here's a question: did an ad play when you joined the chat, or like when you joined the stream? Uh, no, I'm playing right now, and I'm a god. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. That means everything is working as it should. By the way, I still have well, we'll see what it is for those who are watching after the fact, but I still have 5 founder badges left for uh, personal subscribers. Can't be gifted. Found that out on the 2 streams ago. Can't gift it. Imagine being yeah, I'm level 8 now. Okay, I see your correction. Cowboy says, imagine being so hungry for revenge that you transformed yourself into an ooze. What is that? I feel like I know what that is, but I can't think of the monster name. Before DND said 80, I was 52 yesterday. How have you fucking climbed 28 levels, but you haven't been playing all day? Slithering Tracker. Let me look that up. Right, like even if you're grinding, it takes time. You know, you don't just instantly level up. You find like a good spot or something. You're not a god, bro. You're bad. I don't think you have actually. And regardless, I'm not even in my final form. You kill the boss and got 600k runes. That's not gonna give you 28 levels, bro. From 52 to 80, that's not gonna give you enough. What'd you kill? You killed a giant dragon or something? But it did. No, it didn't. Because you were at least paying, you know, mid 20s, low 20s to high 30s between those levels. You use the remembrance to get another 200k rune. Hey, good for you, man. Good for you. But now what? Now that the boss is gone. And now that you've used your remembrance, what are you going to do now? You've plateaued. Now I'm going to pump into Arcane and become the true Elden Lord. Good luck, bro. What are you going into Arcane for at this point, though, if you've got 80 levels in not Arcane? Slithering Tracker is a little creepy. But yes, this is what I remembered. Well, before D&D, maybe you could throw out some suggestions. We're looking for ideas for magic items that you could take from like the part or essence of some type of monster. So me, Angry Meatball, and Catboy have all been searching for inspiration while doing other things, I'm sure. But feel free to throw out some ideas. I got a bit of faith and intelligence because I wanted the Sword of Night and Flame. I don't know what that is. Which means you've probably been watching a YouTube video. Dragon's Teeth. Pretty sure we put Dragon's Teeth on the other one, but that's fine. Just to make sure that it's there either way. No, I found it but wasn't able to access it. You mean you weren't able to equip it? Yeah. Yeah, I need, I think, like 1 or 2 more levels in faith, and then I'll be busted. Yeah, I figured we did. I remember talking specifically about the thing for the breath weapon. Yeah, just remove it so we don't have to deal with the duplicate on Saturday. Sorry, trying to read your name. There's a lot going on there. Brian Torn Out. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the chat. I see it's your first time here, so thanks for stopping by. If you are not already familiar with the gist of what we do here, we are a world building stream. I'm currently writing my next big D&D campaign, so I'm not sure how big you are into D&D or other role-playing games, but we'd love to hear what your experience is. Right now, we are looking for inspiration and ideas in regard to weapons or magic items that could come from some type of creature or monster. So feel free to throw out ideas or just in generally chat with us. We love talking to new members. Catboy says, hello, newcomer. Brian Torn Out says, yeah, it's way past my usual sleeping time, but my blood is coffee and my sweat is sugar. Okay. I dig it. Any reason that you're pumping coffee and sugar this late? Well, I say this late. I have no idea what time zone you're in. Late for me. I'm in the Army. That's a good reason. It's 4:50 a.m. here. It's wild. The IDF. Well, welcome all the same. How is your, I guess, morning going so far? Also, what is your experience with D&D and other similar role-playing games? Have you played before? Have you DM'd before? Let us know. Transfer monster parts to turn to magic item. A dragon hears that once consumed lowers your HP by twice your proficiency, but gives you immunity to the dragon's element. Oh, that's not only very specific in a good way. Let's see. And Brian Tornout says I have about 5 months of experience in D&D, 2 years as a City of Mist DM. I've never heard of City of Mist. How do you like D&D by comparison though? Personalities, how's it going? Says hiya buddy, and then drops a picture of my face, the stare emote. What a good emote. I don't know if you notice personalities, but that same emote is bouncing around the screen right now. You know what I'll do is I'll get like a little image of a dragon. Wow, nice setup. Thank you. I think it looks pretty good on this wall for the most part. This one looks better. Yeah, he's a good boy. He's a cute dog. He is a D&D is so simple it's boring if you go traditional min-max or even gimmick builds or take part in pre-released campaigns. Personality says I like the bokeh in the background. The what? I'm not sure what you mean, personalities. Gotta go for flavor and homebrew, or else it seems non-interactive. That's fair. Yeah, obviously it can depend very heavily on your DM, but yeah, flavor is the most important thing, and it is definitely simpler than a lot of other RPGs, even older versions of D&D. That is for sure. But that does make it more approachable. It means it's easier to find a game or groups in a lot of cases. But I've always found the most important thing is having the right group of people. Well, I'm just talking as a photographer, don't mind me. Okay. Fair enough. I'm glad you like the setup though. Let me see, what do I want to put on? What is a good song? Brian Tornout says my recent favorite character is an ex-Inquisitor who uses the Renegade subclass for big boy rifle damage and multiclassed into some homebrewed Warlock subclass to control forbidden powers by getting a Shadowhound companion. It's cool. It's definitely a lot of flavor there. Very interesting. So you said you've been playing for 5 months, or you have experience with it for 5 months. Are you? Well, you said character, so I assume you've been playing mostly. Have you been playing in a campaign, or Like a series of one shots, or what's the exposure there? Angry Meatball says the official 5e content has definitely been bland. They've dumped into the most generic setting they can to appeal to the widest possible audience. Personality says, what are we talking about? We're talking about basically just how D&D stacks up to other different games out there. The consensus being that D&D is a lot easier to get into, or a lot simpler specifically, which could be a good or a bad thing. It really can be both at the same time. Brian Tornell said, did 2 one-shots and I'm currently in 3 campaigns. Holy cow. Playing in 3 different campaigns at the same time? Are you playing online or in person? A homebrewed Broken World campaign, a massively homebrewed Strixhaven campaign, and I'm about to start a Colonial Fantasy campaign online. Yeah, that makes sense. I was going to say, you're doing 3, if you were doing 3 in person, that would be, I mean, it's still intense, but it's very different. Very different indeed. Playing in 3 campaigns is not that big of a problem. I'm used to concentrate for long periods of time. That's fair. It's just yeah, I guess, yeah, that's fair. It's a lot of time into D&D, but in fairness, I write, or partially write, partially talk to people while I'm thinking of ideas for 12 hours a week. And once I start running my next campaign, that's going to be a lot of my time. It's going to be interesting to see how it all fleshes out. Yeah, I got my character inspiration from Mobile Legends. I don't know if anyone else knows what Mobile Legends is. Maybe they do. Oh, you're talking about your first character, right? Not your current character. Yeah, my first character, she was a bad bitch. I'd say by the end, yeah. When you fast forward the some odd years. NASA Daddy 69 says, by the way, this stream is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. I wish that was true. Not specifically for Raid Shadow Legends, but that would be cool if someone wanted to sponsor me. Displates didn't want to sponsor me, but maybe someone will one day. Good to see you, NASA Daddy. Welcome to the stream. We are currently working on weapon or magic item ideas that could come from like a particular monster. So if there are any cool monsters that you think like maybe a part of that creature could do something cool, just feel free to drop them in the chat. But it's good to see you. It's been a couple streams. Also, I think you were gifted a sub. I don't think you were here when you got it, but you were gifted a sub, so you're subbed for the next month. We do still have 5 spots left for founder subs. So make sure you take advantage of your icons and all the other little cool gamified stuff you can do while you've got your sub. Let's see. Angry Meatball says, I've got an idea rattling around in my head of a high-level magic armor that has a patchwork of different monster materials. You can remove them to do different effects relating to the creatures they came from, sort of like the robe of useful items, but more magical. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, we could... we'll say combination monster armor. Or no, not combination. Modular. Modular would be the word we're looking for. Catboy says sponsorship spiel begins. If I had a sponsor, maybe, but I don't. You guys are my sponsor, believe it or not. Y'all are the reason I get on and do this thing 3 times a week. So, shout out to you guys. Catboy Tad, my sponsor. Angry Meatball, my other sponsor. Personalities, not a sponsor. But yeah. I'm gonna have to accumulate some monsters in particular. I should be ready to flesh it out on Saturday. Sounds good. That's what the deep dive is for. So we'll figure it out. I mean, we've got a good amount of things, but I feel like a lot of these will take a decent chunk of time for us to make usable. I gotta say, Eberron has some interesting monsters. I think Eberron is one of the books that I don't have. Which, if that's the case, let me check real quick. Let's see if I have Eberron in the stack. I do not. I will need to get a copy of Eberron. Personalities dropped a good boy. What a cute dog. Brian Tornow says, "Oh, another item idea: mythical cursed item, Gem of Rot. Gain 2 cantrips from the Druid spell list and gain 2 levels in Druid, which you must put into Circle of Spores. Replaces your ability to wear gloves. You cannot use any non-one-handed item, and you cannot use more than 1 item that needs to be held at once." Okay. It's interesting. Oh, I always forget to do that the first time. BRB Gagoko. Gaggle. Gaggle Mole. It's fine. Take your time. We'll be here. It can cripple some characters massively, buff others, hence the cursed. Yeah. Imagine a fighter getting this and now he has to fight with one-handed items and no shield, but he has a constant area of necrotic spores around him. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of mechanical hindrance from the curse, a lot of RP from how it manifests itself. It's a good item. A good cursed item, at least. So you would say that because aren't you going to get cantrips by default by gaining the 2 druid levels? So is that just like to balance out the crippling effect that you're getting 2 additional cantrips, or is it really just whatever you get through the natural 2 levels? Because like if a druid gets 2 by default, would they be getting 4 in total? Just as an example, it's a bonus. Okay, just trying to make sure. It makes sense. It's a very versatile 2nd level druid, potentially. Depends who you put it on. Imagine a druid putting it on and effectively. Well, no, it says gain 2 levels. So in theory, if you have druid levels, you don't go to level 2. You get 2 more levels. Yeah, so it could be useful and uh, negative at the same time. Oh. How would that work if you were a druid who already didn't have levels in Circle of the Spore, though? Can you multi-class into the same class? No, right? Can't multi-class into the same class. So what would happen? They just get no benefit and they're just fucked until they remove the curse? Beyond getting 2 cantrips? Interesting. I suddenly want to use a ball. Balhana? What is that? Oh shit, that looks terrifying. Wow. Ooh. As far as where the gem could come from, definitely some archdemon that is a big fan of rot. Yeah, I agree. That would make a lot of sense. Could also be a corrupted item from a fey creature as well. Let me read what this thing does. This thing is terrifying. Capable of sensing magical energies from up to 120 feet away, whether the energies were from spells or magic items, though they could not distinguish between the two. Though other sources claimed that they could sense prey from up to 500 feet away. They were most notable for being capable of warping reality around them in a square area of up to 500 feet on a side for around 10 minutes. However, this was limited in its scope as they were incapable of creating objects with moving parts or magical properties. Furthermore, they could only affect non-living objects, and close inspection of objects within a warped area would reveal them to be facsimils. Were capable of telepathically reading other creatures' minds. They would use this ability to reach out towards any intelligent creature that got within 1 mile of their lairs and learning whatever it is they desired most. Those that did would begin to feel as though they were close to that desire, and this feeling would grow stronger as they got closer to the lair. They would then use their reality warping abilities to make the lair resemble what the creature desired. Once it lured a creature within its lair, it would grapple and teleport them anywhere within 60 feet to begin their attack in earnest. Though if it was not yet ready to go on the offensive, they were capable of turning invisible, altering their skin so that it blended in with the environment. Fuck. Jubilex, the Faceless Lord, and Oozing Hunger. Oh yeah, that would do the trick. He's the demon prince of oozes and slimes. I actually have a question related to one of my characters. Go for it. I do see why you want to use it as terrifying, though. No one's going to be happy with you when you use that, but... Brian Tornout says, I need help with an idea or two for a character in a different campaign. He is... let's see. He is a former Inquisitor, Executioner, expert in guns, close quarters shooting, and tinkering with black powder weapons. My DM in that campaign plans on including some gun modification. So I want to make full use of it for the sake of flavoring. Should I stick with a weapon set consistent of a rifle, a pepper box, rapier, and a whip, or a rifle, pepper box, flame, belching flintlock, and blunderbuss? It's a copy paste from a server. I posted it in. So are those your only two options? I mean, because honestly, from the flavor standpoint, unless you're not going to be able to change out your weapons later on, I don't know that it'll matter like too much in the beginning. I guess it just depends on your DM, really. That flame belching flintlock sounds pretty good. Now I'm trying to make sure my posture's right, because Kev would drop the posture check on me. Trying to make sure my back is firmly in place. Aside from the rifle, all the weapons are interchangeable, but I dump strength to max dex and charisma. I mean, whew. I mean, what's your gut say, man? I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a huge difference. If you're going for a unique weapons expert, I probably wouldn't go with the rapier and whip personally. But I mean, it's all about the flavor, Like you're basically talking about a rifle and a shotgun and flamethrower versus a rifle, a whip, and a sword. It's, if you can change them out later, it's not a big deal, but you should just go with whichever one your gut is leaning towards, because they're mechanically going to be very different. Outside of the rifle, obviously. But if you are trying to predominantly stay at a range, in combat at least, then I would probably go with the latter. That stands out to me more. It just sounds cooler, but it's not. Essentially, it boils down to, should I go for colonial mercenary flavor with the first set, or executioner gunner flavor? I mean, I almost imagine like Doom Guy from the Doom series with that second one. Just having a series of insane weapons. But I think the executioner gunner flavor is more interesting personally, but there's no wrong. There are people who don't dump strength. Cabo, what was the \J supposed to do? I need to go into let's see, let me put it on the last page. I think I have to manually go in and add some of the commands. So is that command supposed to do something? Oh, okay. Just making sure. Because I know we had that problem before. It depends on the world that you're inhabiting. Exactly. That really is the key. Like, which one's going to make more sense? Just depends on the world. Full on early 16th century colonial land mixed with fantasy. Huh. I mean, if you're trying to match the flavor of the story and the world, then the first one makes more sense in a 16th century fantasy. Because but I mean, you could also add a bit of contrast in there. It's really going to just come down to what your gut says is going to be more fun for you. If you really want to stick to the flavor of the world, I would do the first one. If you want to inject a little bit of, like if you want to make it feel a bit more modern, then I probably would go with the second one. Like you'll stand out like a sore thumb by comparison. My character would be the one in the world with the brimmed hat, sturdy leather long coat, and iron-soled boots. This is actually the first stream I really hung out in, so I don't know any commands. Okay, fair enough. I'll just look it up in the next couple days and see if I need to add anything. I know there are a few different ones that are already active, but random mercenary that escaped his inquisitor executioner position by traveling to the newly settled lands. Interesting. So you're neither. But the lands are being colonized, to be clear, right? By those who have quote unquote discovered them. What? Oh, wow. Time's flying. I was checking the clock to see if we were even an hour in yet. We're almost an hour and a half in. Jesus. They were getting colonized for the past 50 years in the in-game lore. Ooh, okay. So what, I mean, you may or may not even know this as, like, that's a DM decision, but I would imagine that, like, whether or not you really are one of the colonizers or not, your immediate relationship with those being colonized is probably tenuous at best. They're probably not your biggest fan, but I don't know that you necessarily care about that. Escape indicates you're running from something or someone. What happens if you get captured? It's a great question. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and refill my water real quick. So I'll be right back, but y'all keep talking and we'll keep this going. I'll go ahead and throw up the be right back. I'll see y'all in a second. All right. I'm back. Long time no see. Let's see. Redeemed hydrate. All right. I'll take a sip of my freshly filled water. Catboy says, yes, hydration is important. It is very important. It is one of the most important things you can do for your body. Stay hydrated. Brian Tornow says, nobody even knows where I went to. All my burnt on markings indicate that I served as an executioner for the church at some point. Then nobody in the new world, new lands, even knows I exist. Okay. I guess what Angry Meatball is asking though is like somebody going to look for you though. Well, if it's a brave new world that you're exploring, a varied kit would be the most logical. This is true. Variety is key. Did it get colder? When are you starting this campaign? Right? Like when are you running this character for the first time? I'll go for the first set then and then see if I have enough room on my belt for the extra ammo and guns next week. That's exciting. Well, I hope you have fun. I hope it ends up being another great campaign for you. I wish I was starting my new campaign next week. It's still got a ways to go. A good 5-6 months. What? No. Good 4 or 5 months. It's March now. Every day is a day closer. Luckily, I've been able to run a couple one-shots here and there. I ended up pushing back my current one-shot because I'm waiting to get this new table so that way I can have my players play on that. Let's see. Before D&D, you still there? Or are you too distracted with Elden Ring? You're probably too distracted with Elden Ring. I don't blame you. It's a fun game. And yes, it is nice, Brian Tornow. It's going to be a lot of work, but I'm excited for it. A lot of work indeed. But thankfully, you guys have been very helpful, you know. Not only with some of like these ideas that we come up with for just interesting elements, but like just helping me make decisions on things that I get stuck on. Because I'm very particular when it comes to like the world building elements. Like sometimes I spend a little too much time deciding on certain things. So it's nice to just throw it in the chat and have you guys help me pick. Helps me move on. So, but yeah, we are basically halfway through the stream tonight. So for those who are here, thanks once again for tuning in. If you're not already following, you should be following, because we got even more great content coming along the way. If you're not in the Discord, you should probably check out the Discord, because that's where most of our great content actually gets posted. Thanks to Catboy keeping up with it, and Angry Meatball for always sharing interesting docs. And then we do have a giveaway coming up. I would be remiss if I did not mention that we will have a giveaway not this Saturday, but a week from Saturday, so the 19th. We'll have a total of at least 3 winners. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be the first giveaway on the stream, so I'm excited for that. Brian Tornow says, more magic items. Werewolf Fang, if planted in the ground with a sprinkling of silver dust over it during a full moon, it would transform into a magic wolf pup. What type of wolves are there? I mean, if you're talking about my campaign setting, most of like D&D's wolf versions would be in there, right? I mean, there's like your standard wolf, your dire wolf. I'm sure there are a few others, but I don't really have any reason to negate any particular type of wolf. Doesn't mean it'll get a lot of screen time, but and with this wolf pup, like how, like, is this literally like a newborn pup, or how large would this pup be? Just a moment. Also, Brian, why is it Brian torn out? What's the story there? Says essentially a newborn wolf pup. It would grow quicker than usual and turn into some form of magically enhanced wolf pet. Okay, understood. Catboy says, "What's on your blanket?" You mean this one or the one behind me? Because this is just a red blanket. The one behind me is Kingdom Hearts blanket. It's got a bunch of Kingdom Hearts stuff on it. The story is you're not reading it correctly. Oh, I got you. My friend is a massive grammar Nazi, and I wanted to make my name Brian torn out, but wanted to make him rage extra hard. Okay. Brain torn out. Okay. I understand now. Did your friend in fact rage extra hard? Yikes. Oh, he raged alright. I made him shit bricks. Such a picky thing for him to shit bricks over. It's your Twitch name. But hey, I hope I hope he recovers from shitting out a brick. That must have been pretty painful. Hopefully the recovery wasn't too bad. There are stories of the launching D-Hole, a wild dog that lives in the mountains of China that can shapeshift and routinely outsmarts humans. Look that up. This was on X-Files as well. Multiple bricks. Ooh. Oh. Wanxing D-Hole. What a name. Yeah, I see that here. The Tian Shan. D-Hole is pronounced Dole. Tian Shan Dole. I mean, it makes more sense than calling it D-Hole. But because D-Hole means something completely different. That's interesting, though. The more you know. Okay. Keep looking at these monsters. See if I can find some more inspiration. Ooh. Ooh. Excuse me. That was a strong one. Tian Shan, the mountains of heaven from the border between China and Kazakhstan. The mountains of heaven. What a name. Let's see. So brain torn out. That's how I should be pronouncing your name. What? So what's your day look like today? You're up at like basically 5 in the morning. So, are you going to go to bed sometime soon? Or are you basically gonna be up all all night or all morning? Oh shit. So, are you familiar with the Oblex? Yeah, I've used that in my last campaign actually. Yeah, it was a very interesting creature. It was a lot of fun. It went pretty well. I modified it a little bit to make the range of what it could do a little bit more substantial. But basically, I had it living underground and water deep. So it was was basically manipulating people into bringing it new food. So there was a little mystery and intrigue into figuring out what exactly was going on with these missing people that would go missing and then all of a sudden would turn up, and it'd be a little different. I liked it a lot. I'm looking at a bunch of monsters that just happen to be some interesting oozes. Yeah. I mean, oozes are very, like, flavor rich creatures in most cases. I mean, they kind of have to be flavor rich, otherwise, they'd be, fairly dull. Like, the concept of an ooze in and of itself doesn't add a lot of flavor, so they add a lot more detail than certain other creature types. Iced Devil. Ooh, that's intense. Man, imagine becoming a lemur. That would suck. Angry Meatball says, Catboy, in regards to your Will-O-Wisp comments from earlier, one of the documents I tried to share on Monday lists the harvesting material as a mote of necrotic energy. It uses described thus: as an action, you may sprinkle this item over one creature within 5 feet of you that has 0 hit points and is still alive. The target must succeed a DC 10 Constitution saving throw or die. If they die, you regain 3d6 hit points. Jesus. Shadow dragons are true dragons that were either born in the Shadowfell or transformed by years spent within its dismal confines. Go ahead and put that in the deck. But yeah, it definitely gives us some direction to work with, so that's good. Thanks for sharing that, Angry Meatball. What am I looking for? Where is this song? There it is. Okay, switch that back. You guys have to work tomorrow? Sunday is your next day off. I guess that's not too bad. When was your last day off? Might have one between now and Sunday. Fair enough. yesterday. Okay, yeah, that's not too bad. Saturday will be my first day off all week. But I don't mind it though. I really like this new job. Especially compared to the good old days where I had literally no days off. It is a great change of pace. Yeah. 6 days a week ain't too bad. Especially since one of those days is only a few hours. Excuse me a minute. Take your time. You know we'll be here. We got just about another hour 10 minutes. Let me skip past the dragons because I don't think I'm gonna get a lot here. Ancient gold dragon. Have you ever used a dragon turtle in one of your games, Cowboy? A dragon turtle? Oh, I did not mean to close the book. This thing right here. I don't know if that comes out too well, but just curious if you've ever used one. I haven't. Me either. But reading through this thing's cool. Because apparently the thing is so smart that it can be bribed. You can offer it treasure, and it will sometimes work for you. That's pretty wild. What the fuck? What about an Eder cap? I've never even noticed this thing before. This thing is grotesque. I've seen worse. Yeah, we've seen worse today, for sure. just a freaky looking humanoid spider. Oh. What's the creepiest looking monster you've ever seen? So I'm reading up on the skulk. Imagine being a child and you witnessed the guy just slaughter a bunch of people and none of the adults saw the man. The Devourer is up there. Yeah, that thing's pretty freaky. Let me look up the skulk. What the fuck? Oh, that's fucking terrifying. Yeah, that would fucking suck. That's some terrifying shit, actually. I wouldn't want to be that 10-year-old. I also wouldn't want to be the guy who gets fucking murdered without even being able to see anything, but it's just a bad situation all around. Beyond Toral, these beings were known to be found on the planet of Orth. Interesting. The sheer amount of lore that there is for all of these, D&D. I don't know. Like, I just stumbled onto a wiki about fucking crystal spheres, which is like the concept of how planets are captured and separated from other celestial bodies. It's wild. It's just such a random thing to have fleshed out. But I guess that's the point, huh? Oh, I just stumbled on a website called Angry Golem Games. It'd be better if it was Angry Meatball Games, but he's not here right now. I'll tell him when he gets back. Just realized I can use the Skulk if I level it up. Do it. It sounds terrifying. I'm sure it would be fun to use. I mean, how do you even fight something that you can be circumvented by three things? The Skulk appears as rips, light candle. I don't have the wherewithal to run my own games company. Welcome back. Actually, both you and before D&D came back at basically the same time. I mean, that's fair. That's an undertaking, but I think you could do it. Little kid, human shield. I mean, but you'd have to know that the little kid is gonna make the difference. Well, my players fought against an invisible stalker. How did that go? No, the little kid is your scout, not shield. Hey, this just depends on your character, you know? In some cases, maybe he's a shield. Probably not a good idea to get him killed by making him a shield, though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're coming up on the 50th anniversary of D&D. There's going to be a lot of lore out there. Yeah, that's fair. When is the 50th anniversary? I wonder what they'll do to celebrate. They're probably going to do something. Even if you don't care about him, it's dumb to get the one who can see your enemy killed. You'd be surprised what players will do. But yes, it would be very dumb. 5.5 comes out in time for the 50th. 2024. Damn, that is pretty close in the scheme of things. Damn. 50 years. It's fucking wild. Well, here's to 50 more. Well, 52 more, because we're year 48, I guess. Damn. Cowboy says they did pretty good. They used its attacks against its target to figure out its general location as well as the effects of its movement, blowing around the loose stuff, etc. That's good. So They handled it fairly well. Ooh, Ooh, a gargoyle. Interesting. Anyone ever watch the Gargoyle animated series back in the day? I don't even remember when that came out. The 90s, I think. They missed a lot, of course, but they managed. Yeah, I mean, if they didn't get TPK, they did all right. Yeah, it was an interesting show. For sure. Angry Meatball says, I don't know if it came out in my country. That's fair. That is fair. I would not be surprised if it had not, to be honest. And it was kind of a niche show. Like, I thought it was a fine show. It was interesting, but there are a lot of people who swear by it. A lot of cult acclaim. Ooh, that was a good pop. What are y'all looking at? What y'all working on right now? We got about 55 minutes, so feel free to throw out any other ideas. We should have enough for the Saturday stream regardless at this point, but it never hurts to have extra. Trying to think of interesting monsters for that armor. Good one-off effects to include. I gotcha. Yeah, it was so far it was definitely the right decision for me to change the end time to 11 as opposed to midnight, because I've noticed that my brain, what normally happens around 11 is my brain starts to slowly like start shutting down. It's happening a little bit earlier now, but to be fair, I'm getting up earlier, so it makes sense. The fuck? Josh Peck is gonna be in a Christopher Nolan movie? That'll be interesting. Hmm. It has actually. Let me see. Might need to change the. Did it just like artificially get stuck in like lose its? Yeah, it did. I mean, in theory, it'll eventually lower itself to a corner, which will cause it to bounce. But that's very interesting. I think I can fix it here in a second. Let's see. That's a very slow game of Pong. You're right. Well, let's see. Let's see something real quick. What actually what happens right now? What do you guys see? Someone let me know. Is everything the same for you guys, like relatively speaking? Because I've never opened up like an app or something while midstream. I don't imagine it'll show you what I'm looking at right now, but that would be kind of cool. Nothing has changed. All right, that's what I thought. There we go. And then now that it's sped up, I'm gonna go back and slow it. We'll do we'll do 2x and see how that goes. All right, now it's got some direction again. That should be a little bit better. You know what I could do? Your head is going everywhere now. Yeah, that's what I do. I get around. So the stone cursed has what is basically a poison. Alchemical sludge drips from its claws that temporarily petrifies the target. Which item are we talking about? Oh, the stoned cursed is a monster. Oh, okay. Well, shit. That's a terrible name. The stone cursed. Oh my god. Let me look that up real quick. So it's a literally like, is this thing literally just a statue that's dripping poison? I'll look up the stat block. Uh, Angry Meatball says, I don't have any specific ideas for this yet, but I'm thinking of having certain monster bits impart a magical benefit or ability, but they have to be consumed, eaten, or drank raw and fresh. Ooh, that's it's intense, but I get what you're going for. So basically, you have this like cloak or armor set of monster bits that stays fresh when it's on the armor. But if you want to take advantage of the ability, you rip off the patch, so to speak, and then eat it. Aside from pieces that might be taken and used to make potions or poisons. I gotcha. You could always have it be like a robe of like like instead of a robe of useful items, if you wanted to make it simpler, or you could make this a separate idea as well, as you could make it like a robe of monster transformation, where you have like the little bits of meat or flesh or whatever from the creature, and when you consume them you transform into the creature for a certain amount of time. That'd be cool. Makes the ability a little bit more generic because the flavor is then coming from the monster, like in being the monster, as opposed to one particular ability that you're having to pick for each monster. So it's a little bit easier to manage. But and then let's see, target is creature must succeed DC 12 Constitution saving throw or begins to turn to stone. Damn, it got stuck again. Uh, Oh, there it goes. They found the corner. It's a sticky head. Yeah, it's stubborn for sure. Let's see. But what do you think of that idea, Angry Meatball? It's interesting enough. Yeah, I mean, I think we can just make it like two versions of the item, you know? Like you have the simple version, which is just the transformation aspect. It makes it just relatively easy and digestible. But then, like, obviously, you could have the patches that are a little bit more specific in terms of their use case, which then adds a degree of flexibility as well. It would allow players to play around polymorph. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would have to be a fairly rare item, you know, whichever direction you go with it. And then there's the flavor of them actually having to consume part of the creature in question. It's definitely kind of freaky. But choosing the specific monsters to turn into might be tricky. It's fair. Okay. Catboy says, okay, so I'm reading the vampiric mist creature. This thing is a former vampire that dissolved into mist. I think I find to be the worst about them is that when they drain blood from a target, said target doesn't feel any pain or discomfort. This thing is attacking someone who is asleep and doesn't even wake them up. Ooh, that's fucked. So they turn to mist, and what's the disadvantage for them? Because don't vampires have the ability to turn to mist like by default? Why wouldn't every vampire just choose to be mist then? And is the mist able to turn back or no? This specific version of the creature? Or is it just stuck as mist? It strips them of their intelligence and personality, so it's just a hungry beast. Ooh, that's not good. That's dangerous. I assume that it still has the sunlight sensitivity or susceptibility. Makes sense. Yeah, that's terrifying because that would be. I mean, that's just hard to detect. Like, imagine this thing rolls up on your party at night, rolls up on the sleeping sleeping barbarian. You guy's already a heavy sleeper. Stealthy. Stealthy vampire mist. Hmm. You wake up and your allies' blood is oozing out from all their pores and orifices. Yeah, that's basically what happens. Uh, and I'm not very familiar with it. Like I know what it is, but I'm not like very well versed in it. Wow, what's up, Meatball? Garak Wild Speaker. Go for it. Link it. This first comic is probably the best window into his mind we've ever gotten. Let me see here. Now I find myself trying to adapt the integration absorption concept. Oh shit, that was badass. I am not a monster. I'm 1,000 of them. What a fucking. That's wild. I mean, I feel like that would go into the realm of a completely different item, though. Like something that allows you to tether or connect to a monster and kind of dominate it or influence it or enhance it. Whoa. Yeah, Woe's right. That was pretty saucy. Not gonna lie. He's a very classic barbarian slash angry druid. Yeah. Yeah, that's a multi class if I've ever seen one. Just watching my dumbass face bounce around on the screen is making me laugh. I'm so dumb. Yeah, I got you. I'm thinking about just the consumption of monster parts right now, independent of items. Be a cool. It'd be cool if that was a class that could do that. I mean, I guess there's. I don't know. That'd be an interesting concept. Nice little comic series. All right, let's do some searching. Unfortunately, they wasted Garrick's story potential a few years after this. What happened? What'd they do? It was very disappointing. What'd they do that was so bad? How did they fuck it up? I mean, it seemed like they knew what they were doing from a storytelling perspective. Do you understand the concept of planeswalkers? Yeah, planeswalkers are the people who can basically go between the different worlds of the multiverse within Magic the Gathering, right? I'm sure there's probably a better explanation than what I just gave, but that's my generic understanding of it. This comic shows him becoming corrupted by dark magic from another planeswalker. Whenever he tries to do his nature magic, it comes out rotten and dying. I have ascended. What have you done now before D&D? Bro, how much have you played today? You were just saying that you were stuck earlier. Hold up. Uh, on another note, what are the colors of the gods? That was when I was a mortal. Pretty sure you're still a mortal. As far as the colors of the gods, um, let me see. Here, I'll just text them to you so you have them. There's no point to put it in the chat. Angry Bell says it starts to corrupt his mind when before he was aggressive and territorial the way a tiger might be. After a while he starts to become cruel. Physically he's one of the strongest planeswalkers and the corruption has made his magic more potent in a bad sort of way. Shit. Well, he searches for a cure, but when one can't be found, he starts killing indiscriminately. Well, that sucks. Because that's nowhere near as cool as what I just read. Let's see. Mercy. There's red. Patience. There's green. Admiration. There's blue. Inspiration. Indigo. Prudence. Purple. Conviction. Gold. Alright, I just sent it to you. I got something to add. Canoloth tongue. Okay. Got it. It's long and spiky. Let me pull this thing up. Oh shit. Yeah, that would make like a great like magical whip item. Hell yeah. Eventually, he more or less gets a handle on it, becomes a planeswalker serial killer almost. He's the only character to have killed another planeswalker for a long time, story wise. Ugh. How does one even become a planeswalker? Is it random? You just born that way? And then the curse gets broken on accident in strange fairy tale setting. Interesting. That's a little random. Okay. There is a spark that resides in people. That spark allows them to planeswalk. You have to be born special. Basically, you have to have a piece of space between the worlds in your soul when you're born. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like lucky as fuck. Oh my god. What is this? Before DND, look at that one. It's the. I'm gonna buy another display next week when I get paid. I never realized how memey some of these were though. I just stumbled upon a new side of display. You can live your whole life with that piece never doing anything or giving you powers. Some lucky few who have it go through some sort of trauma that activates it, igniting their spark. Please don't get that one. I was not gonna get that one. It was just so ridiculous that I had to share it, and I just found the literal opposite one where the dog is holding Elon. That's ridiculous. This then gives them increased magical talent and the ability to travel between worlds. Can they be killed by non planeswalkers? I would imagine so, based on the description, but obviously they're pretty special. Ridiculous is one word you can use. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, all the time? Okay. I mean, there are several storylines about transferring sparks from people who have them to people who don't. That's interesting. Magic lore can be equally as crazy as D&D lore sometimes. I believe it. I believe it. One of my old DMs swears by it. He spends probably almost as much time playing Magic as he does D&D, and he spends a lot of time on D&D. Let's see. Let's take a look and see who is. Magic is a great source of inspiration. I believe it. I have actually. That's the reason why I knew what a planeswalker was, is because I had used some magic inspiration for a character once. Lots of great quotes, some great characters. Also add corpse flower. Okay. Got it. Yeah, that's actually what I was just about to look up, is who was on that I could raid. Probably gonna go ahead and just do that here in a second. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and raid while she's still on. Try to mix it up. We always raid Dungeon Master Symposium. So, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and got just about 10 minutes left. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Please make sure you check back in on Saturday. We will be having our deep dive, where we will then kind of flesh out some of these items that we put together today, and then on Monday. And definitely, if you're watching this after the fact, make sure you tune in to next Saturday's stream on the 19th, where we will have our first giveaway. All you got to do is be a follower of the channel and leave at least one comment in the chat to qualify. So we'll have 3 winners, and we'll see who those winners are. But guys, Angry Meatball Catboy before D&D, thanks for staying with me, and I hope you guys have a great night. I will see y'all on Saturday. Let's see. Let me go ahead and do this raid real quick. And let's see. Maybe I will get it right the first time. Hey, there we go. First try. Alright, guys. Cheers again. Take it easy. I'll see y'all in a few days. Have a good night.